Welcome back to Radio Nation. It is your host, Nicholas Pescod, here on this rainy Tuesday evening here in Toronto, Ontario. Now joined live in studio with Hometown Revenge. So, Hometown, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. How's it going?
You want to sit a little closer to the mic?
Sure.
Just, it's better reception for everybody here. All right, my friend. It's nice to have you back in studio. How have you been?
Good.
Good?
Just busy.
Busy, but yeah, I understand that you'll be performing with Halfway to Hollywood in Brampton later this month, which is pretty awesome because I didn't know that you really knew much about Halfway to Hollywood, and I'm excited for them to be here. So talk to me about how that got sort of set up.
Well, I was on Facebook, and Lance Ryan, who's promoting for them with Break Loose Entertainment, he posted something saying he was looking for a band to play for them, play with them in their GTA shows. So I saw the post, and I thought, all right, well, I'll send him a message about it. And he messaged me right back saying that he was interested. And so he heard my music, liked it, and offered me a spot in Brampton and Toronto. So I'm playing the weekend, so it's the Friday weekend and the Saturday.
Sweet,
with them, yeah.
That's exciting. Now, what are you most looking forward to about this show? About the shows, I should say.
Well, I haven't played a show since January of 2010 with... January 2011 with Young Inspirations, which I talked to you about last time I was on. And so I just decided, you know what, instead of going... The scene, to me, kind of died in Brampton especially. So I kind of wanted to hold off on playing shows until I had a solid set down and some stuff to finally actually push out that was quality. And now that I have that, I think it's time for me to start to get back out there.
Well, it'd be really exciting. It's unfortunate that I actually won't be in the city for it, but you did mention something off air, which I want to bring up. You're going to be playing another series of events in sort of a coffee shop tour, from what I understand. You want to touch on that portion of your next wave of stuff to do?
Yeah, right after the Halfway to Hollywood shows, a good buddy of mine, Ken Taylor, who, to be honest, without him, I would not have been able to play music, because he got me started on playing guitar by teaching me how to play Damn It by Blink-182 over MSN.
Nice.
As long ago as that was, and kind of got me started with Hometown Revenge. So in a big part, I actually thank him a lot for my musical talents. And I used to go to his old band, the big man himself. I used to go, and I was like their fanboy, I guess you could say. I followed them around Brampton and the GTA and all their shows, and they were awesome guys and girls. Giant ska band they had. And I haven't spoken to Ken in a while, but I've been following his band, the Gentlemen Thieves. Check them out if you guys can, because they're awesome. And he told me he's interested in playing a show around the GTA, and so he kind of came up with this idea to play like a coffee shop tour where we would travel the GTA one weekend and just play coffee shops and kind of bring people in, and kind of a nice chill environment. And so me, him, and Courtney Lynn from Brampton, who's another fantastic artist, are going to be doing that the weekend of May 4th. So yeah, if you guys are around the GTA area, check out my Facebook page and my Twitter page for more updates on that.
So I'm taking some questions off Twitter, and I'll be reading them very, very shortly. There's a couple coming in already. You mentioned around the GTA, so there's a lot of people that are listening that probably wonder where in the GTA you have an idea of where you want to perform these coffee shop tours. Do you have some actual cities in mind? Yeah,
well, right now, for sure, we have the downtown Starbucks in Brampton. So the Starbucks in downtown Brampton. It's on Main Street. That's a for sure. Ken right now is in talks with a coffee shop in Bolton. And we're also looking into possibly Toronto and Ancaster. So it'll be kind of a wide range. Ancaster's a bit of a stretch, but other than that, the rest of it's kind of in like the
general area.
The GTA area.
Any particular sort of location that you're more looking forward to than another? Or you're just really looking forward to just getting out there and playing?
I'm excited for all of them, and I mean, Starbucks in downtown Brampton, in my opinion, is one of the nicest Starbucks I've ever been to.
It is pretty nice. I have been.
It has a nice kind of coffee shop feel, so that would be fun. But I mean, I would love to play in Bolton. I know that there seems to still be a music scene there, and I always see Ken's posting things there about shows, so it'd be awesome to kind of play in there.
Which is interesting you bring that up, because they're in the general Toronto area. There's not too many people that come from Bolton that go out to Bolton to play shows. It's the kind of forgotten area of the GTA. So it's nice to see interest in going there, because I think it's important to go anywhere in the GTA really. But it's kind of nice to see that somebody wants to go to Bolton, which is nothing against Bolton. It's just it doesn't seem to, it looks like you said that there is a scene there, but it's overshadowed by Toronto.
Yeah,
so.
It's it'll be fun. I mean, I'm excited to play the whole thing. Like I said, I haven't played a show in almost a year and a half, so to finally get out there and start playing consistently this summer and pumping my music out, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And
any sort of nervous jitters or any sort of nervousness going in?
Oh yeah, I mean the show before, it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but before I played the Young Inspiration show, I played a show in Brampton, and it was by far the worst. Everything that could have went wrong. My strap broke, my string broke, my plug-in to my guitar broke, and I think that's why I never heard back from the promoter for that show, because it was just the most brutal experience. And after that, I kind of realized that I needed to step my game up and so I mean, I've been working really hard for the past year and a half, trying to get a solid set down with quality music. That's my biggest thing right now. Is I used to do quantity. It was write as many songs as I can, but now it's about quality. I want to write something that's catchy, that's fun, people want to listen to. Now that I have an amazing producer, Chris Oswald, I mean, now that me and him are finally working together, it's going to just be the ability to pump out quality tracks.
Now, when you mentioned quantity and just pumping out music, and then you mentioned quantity and writing stuff is it still stuff that resonates to what you want to write about? You just want to make it really a quality song, as opposed to I have all these ideas and I'm just going to make them into 30 songs, as opposed to just sort of set those ideas into one song? Or
kind of. I mean, my biggest thing right now is when I write a song. I mean, I'm not always looking for the most serious of lyrics. I have a lot of fun songs that literally, I have one called "I'm Just a Colorblind Kid" about being colorblind, and it's just fun. I mean, I love writing music that's catchy. My biggest thing is it has to be catchy, and I write down. I still do quantity in the sense that I write everything that I have in my head. If it comes to me, I'll sit on my girlfriend Sabrina's floor with my guitar, and I will write a song. And it might not go anywhere. I just have bits and pieces here, but I keep them aside so if they ever come back to me. Because like I told you last time I was on air, the story of Tobias and Lily came to me from literally, it was a course I had written, it was a course I had written, which I left for months, and I finally came back to, and it ended up being the intro. And what came out of it was, something I could have never, ever imagined. So I just try to keep them on the side in case I ever have to come back to them.
What do you think's been the hardest part since you performed in 2011 to this point now, getting this set up with Halfway to Hollywood? What do you think's been the biggest challenge for you in between that time span?
Well, now that I'm not, I wasn't playing shows, like I said, getting out there and having people know who I am and listen to my music was hard because, obviously there still are people going to shows and I'm not reaching that audience, and obviously playing shows as a musician is the number one way you reach an audience, because somebody goes out to see one band, they see you, they like your stuff, they check you out. But you just by tweeting and Facebooking and all that social media stuff, you get some people, but they're like, who is this guy?
Right.
So that's been the hardest, is trying to find an audience, but it's growing, it's gradually growing, but it's getting there.
Takes time, right?
And yeah, it takes a lot of time. I mean, I've been working on Hometown Revenge since I was in grade 9 or 10, and I'm still not anywhere I want to be, but it's it's my thing, and I'll take as long as I need to, but I want to get out there.
For those that are just tuning in, you're joining live with Hometown Revenge, so I want to ask how you came up with that name. I asked it before, but for those listening for the first time, how did you come up with the name Hometown Revenge?
Well, there's two things that came out of it. Hometown Revenge started, one of my favorite bands back in the day was Atreyu, which were like a heavy metal screamo band, and they had this one song called Hometown Revenge, and it never sounded like them. It was completely out of their style of music, and I really enjoyed it. And then I was thinking of a name for my acoustic project, and Hometown Revenge kind of just came into my mind, and I forgot where I'd heard it, and so I typed it in on Google, and it came up as an Atreyu song. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I like this song. And so I kind of liked it also because, to be honest, I was going through a rough time with a previous band that I was in, and they pretty much told me that my music sucked and that as a solo artist I would never make it anywhere, and I had no chance of ever becoming anything. So I kind of took it also as a challenge, And so Hometown Revenge was kind of just, I thought it kind of fit that I was going to, show them up and take my hometown by storm. And so far, I think I've done pretty well for the Brampton area, at least.
I was just going to ask, do you feel like there's some satisfaction to where you are today as opposed to when they first told you that? Do you feel that you've really come a long way, not just as a solo artist, but as a person?
Oh, extremely satisfied. It's just something that, we've rekindled actually our relationship, like, as a band, and I talked to at least one member predominantly, and so it's kind of nice. But at the same time, I feel that as a solo artist, I've definitely, and even as a person, I've grown a ton, and from where I started, funny story, Ken and I really wanted to do a song by Say Anything called I Want to Know Your Plans. And I couldn't play guitar at the time. So he recorded over his computer mic the guitar, and I took it and over my mic recorded the vocals. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wish he still had it, because it was the worst thing you could have possibly ever heard, at least on my end. And to take that and put it next to the story of Tobias and Lily, it would actually be, in my opinion, a remarkable thing to listen to, because to know that I went from not being able to play guitar or sing to teaching myself, along with Ken's help, to play guitar and to sing, just kind of blows my mind, because it's something that I never ever expected.
If you're just joining us here on Radio Nation, you're listening to Hometown Revenge. We're going to take a quick break. We're actually going to play your songs, The Story of Tobias and Lily, and then we're going to get back and we're going to take some questions off Twitter and ask some more questions and cover all the bases and everything. So you're listening to Radio Nation. This is The Story of Tobias and Lily by Hometown Revenge. Follow on Twitter at Radio_Nation. So we're joined now live in studio with Hometown Revenge. So welcome back.
Thank you.
So we're going to be taking some questions off of Twitter. For fun, and there's some good ones out there, and if you got some questions for Hometown Revenge, please feel free to tweet us, and then after the interview, I know there's a couple requests out there, and I promise I will get to those. So the first question that I want to ask you is, who was your favorite band?
Owl City, hands down.
We talked about this last time, I remember.
Yes,
that.
we did.
What is your favorite song by Owl City?
That's a tough one. I have a lot, but I'm going to have to say Honey and the Bee. It's from his album All Things Bright and Beautiful.
This one is from Kieran in Illinois. She wants to know, can you solve in a Rubik's Cube?
No, I can't.
Have you ever tried?
I have, numerous times, and I'm colorblind, so surprisingly, that's not the reason I can't do it, although I'm sure I could use that as a valid excuse.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I just can't figure out the pattern. I've seen people do it in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I actually saw this meme on the internet once, and it was a stick figure holding a Rubik's Cube all messed up, and it says, I did it, and then it says, the advantages of being colorblind. And I thought that was one of the most cutest things I've ever seen.
I've seen those YouTube videos. I had an ex who just carried around a Rubik's Cube in her purse and would solve it in 30 seconds. It's like, I can't even do one side in 30 seconds.
The thing I don't understand is that if you can solve it in 30 seconds, what's the fun in doing it anymore?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't...
Aren't they all different? Like, isn't each one differently solved? I don't even know how it works, to be honest with you.
I know there's a pattern. You do, like, the corners first, and you work your way in or something.
I used to just take the stickers off and stick them. That's what I used
Or, like,
to
I'd
do.
buy it when it's already made, like, do a couple moves, and then it'd be like, look, I did it!
Yeah,
Nope.
Yeah, that's exactly how I do it. So if you were eggs, what kind of desserts would you like to be baked into? This is from Vanessa in Wisconsin, who comes up with the most crazy, random, awesome questions I've ever heard.
Cookies. Me and my girlfriend Sabrina have this thing about baking cookies, and we do it late at night, and we make the best cookies. What? So I should say she makes the best cookies. I kind of sit there and watch like an idiot.
You just do the dishes, right?
I do the dishes. And so I think cookies would be the answer, because I just love cookies.
Sabrina, at least he does the dishes. Be glad. Some guys just walk out of the room. I'm watching that hockey game that was over 3 hours ago.
See, the glorious thing about her house is that I watch hockey online, so I can do the dishes and watch the game at the same time.
Yeah, there you win-win.
Ding ding.
Yeah, there you go. This is a fun question. There's a right answer to this question, and there's probably a wrong answer to this question. If you were a chair, what celeb would you want to sit on you, dead or alive? There's a right answer to this question, I'm sure. She's sitting in the room.
I'm going to have to say my girlfriend Sabrina, who's going to be a famous actress one day.
There you go.
So that is the celebrity I would want to sit on me.
There you go.
I'm not sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah, win. We talked about earlier about the hardest part, the challenges of between the last 2 years. What is the hardest part about being a solo artist in an environment such as Toronto, where there are so many artists in this city, and really now, I guess, all over the world vying for the same thing you are?
It's a great question. I think the first thing I'm going to point out about that is that the hardest thing about being a solo artist in general is that it's very much self-relied on. So when I was in a band, it was kind of like we had practice is when we met. You know, we were going, hanging out together at the bars, like to play shows, and we'd be traveling, and it kind of had more of like a group atmosphere, which I really enjoyed. So being a solo artist is hard because you find yourself having to rely on yourself a lot more to go out and find shows and play shows, and it's a lot scarier, to be honest, being by yourself. I mean, it's a lot more gratifying in the sense that when you're done, it was all you, and all eyes are on you, and so it's kind of like that self-glorifying moment where you can sit back and say, this is me. Mm-hmm. And the reason I don't use my name is, like, a lot of people are like, why don't you just use, like, Justin Borrow? It's just never rang out for me as a name. You know, like, there's so many, like, Chris August and Drew Meir and all these, you know, kind of, like, cool, sounding, like, artist names, and for me, it just never rang out as a name that I could use, so I kind of just found a little band handle, I guess.
Now, do you use that your own name as like when you're acting?
Yes, acting. I do Justin Borrow.
So why? I guess just like, and you just touched on it, but I mean, I guess out of curiosity, then why did you choose to separate the two? Also, based on the fact that one is a musician and one is an actor, or then you didn't think about linking the two together?
Well, yeah. I mean, when I have a Facebook page for both my music and my acting, and to have Justin Borrow, the musician, Justin Borrow, my personal one, and Justin Borrow, my acting one, would be kind of confusing. And so that kind of, it works in that sense too. I mean, the best example I can think of is Donald Glover. He's an actor on Community, but he also raps under Childish Gambino.
Right.
And what he said was that he's a comedian and an actor, and he doesn't want that to be associated with his music because his music is completely different. And so I kind of am the same way in the sense that I want my music to be my music and my acting to be my acting. And to change my name as an actor it gets really complicated, and it starts to get, you know, it can get confusing. And I mean, my name is still Justin Borrow, and that's the name that I legally go by, obviously. So for my acting is more me as a person, and it's what I hopefully will be making my livelihood off of in the future. And so my music is something that, you know, you can kind of get away with having a handle as a musician. It's a little bit easier than an actor. So,
a couple of questions off of Twitter here. One of them is really good. I like this one. It comes from Vanessa in Washington, and she says, if you could voice a Disney character, what voice would you want to do?
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
That's a good question. She comes up with really good questions.
That's awesome. I love Disney. I think I would love to do Disney. Wow.
Well, first off, let's start by asking you, what is your favorite Disney movie, and then maybe we can narrow this down for you, because that's a huge question I ask, especially an actor.
Yeah, it's a tough one because I mean I love all of Disney. I love Hercules. It's one of my favorites, but I think the answer would have to be Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's a good one. Why? Just out of curiosity.
In my opinion, he's like one of the most fun characters.
Fair
and
enough.
As a theater student, I love singing Little Mermaid songs, and one of my favorite ones is Under the Sea. My other favorite one is A Whole New World, but as a male, sorry, A Part of This World, not A Whole New World. That's Aladdin. A little bit wrong there, sorry. But A Part of Your World, which is sung by Ariel, so can't really voice her, but I think Sebastian would be a fun little choice to do.
If you were stuck on a desert island and you had and there were three people you didn't want on this island, who would you not want with you?
Any of the members from Nickelback.
That's more than three, though. So, which three?
Well, I'll just use that as damn. Making this tough for me, Nick.
This isn't easy. This is a good question. This is from Vanessa as well.
Oh, wow. You're stumping me here. Well, there was this one kid. I'm not going to name his name, but
you don't have to name names.
He bullied me throughout elementary school when I lived in Barrie, and it was not very nice of him. So I definitely wouldn't want him on the island. He used to beat me up at the park, and
I'd want him on the island so you could kick him off the island.
that would be good, drown him and stuff. But that's just a little bit more.
That's how you go to jail.
Who would I not? I've never been asked who would you not. It's always like, what would you bring with you? Who would you want with you?
I've never thought. It's a great question. It's a very, very thought-provoking question.
Justin Bieber, because I'm sorry, like I'm not gonna lie, a lot of respect for him as a musician and as a Canadian, but he's just so whiny and he's just such a prissy boy. I couldn't handle that.
So you wouldn't want shirtless Bieber on your island?
No
Shirtless Bieber.
I'm sure a lot of young teenage girls probably hate me right now for saying that and think I'm not very bright for saying that, but oh well. And thirdly, is that even a word?
It is now.
It is now in the Hometown Revenge Dictionary. Who would I not want on that island? I'd have to say, who really annoys me? Want to jump in here? Anybody who can think that annoys me? Definitely my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend I would have went on that island. That could get dangerous. We'll go there.
All right, now who would you want on this island? This comes from Kieran in Illinois.
No, who would I want on that island?
Well, if you don't say the person sitting next to you.
Well, clearly my girlfriend is sitting next to me, Sabrina. She would be... I would starve to death.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I think I would want her.
If you didn't say that, you would be sleeping on the couch today.
Yes, on the couch, buddy. I'd be in the backyard on the couch that's in our backyard that's covered in rain. I'd want my girlfriend. It's a tough one because I have a lot of friends. So to name off, 2 other friends and have the rest of them.
You could bring a celebrity. I mean, you can bring anybody.
True. Well, to make my girlfriend happy, I'd bring Ryan Reynolds because he's Canadian. And he's awesome.
She's in complete joy right now.
He's
like, score.
He's one of my favorite actors. He just is. He's so funny. And
you actually grew up in Burlington, eh?
I didn't know that. Actually, I think I did. I think you told me that. My girlfriend's like one of those Ryan Reynolds.
Do you know everything
super
about Ryan
fans.
Reynolds?
So, and Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor, and so I'd bring him on just because I'd make him. When I was bored, he could play one of his many characters,
which he usually does.
Non-Oscar winning characters, I should say,
sure.
Which he should have.
Let's not go there.
But
this could be a long talk.
But I'd bring him on and just make him act for me. We could do scenes together. We've seen partners.
Yeah. What is your favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
Ooh, tough one. Well, Inception is by far one of my favorite movies. But I think in regards to his role, I'd have to say Gangs of New York.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is, in my opinion, an amazing movie.
I just watched I've watched it so many times.
Oh, me too. It's so good.
But I also just played The Departed, actually.
Sorry?
I just played The Departed before I came to this show.
Oh, okay, nice.
And that's fun. I like him in that one.
I thought you said I played a part in it, and I was like,
oh, God.
What?
Yeah, if I played a part in any of his movies, I would be, I could tell you right now, I'd be sitting on a beach in California.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here.
Sipping tequila or something like that, that's for sure. But no, he's a terrific actor.
Oh, yeah, and like Gangs of New York was just a fantastic film, and Daniel Day-Lewis was amazing in it, as he is in everything he does. And Leonardo DiCaprio, I feel like the thing I like about him the most, and I think I told you this last time we were on, because I'm pretty sure we discussed this.
I'm sure we have, but that's cool.
Is when I'm watching him act, there's a lot of actors out there, and I'm going to name a Brampton one out, Michael Cera, who, when you watch him, you're like, I'm watching Michael Cera in this movie, and now he's playing the same character in this movie.
Yeah.
Whereas when I watch Inception, or I watch Gangs of New York, or I watch Shutter Island, or I watch Catch Me If You Can, I don't look at Leonardo DiCaprio. I look at the character, and he actually gets into the mind of a character, which I know is what actors are supposed to do. But surprisingly, a lot of them can't do it.
Or it's more just they're typecast, right?
They're typecast, yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, and it sucks for them. But, well, not really. I guess they're being paid, so they don't really care.
I guess for some actors and actresses it works. Like with Will Ferrell, it works.
Yeah.
But with Leonardo, like you can watch him in Romeo and Juliet, and he plays Romeo. Like I don't see him I know it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, but you don't see Jack from Titanic, or you don't see.
No, exactly. I don't know.
Well, looks wise, I do, because they were very close together.
Those very very close. But you don't see him from The Departed in there. You know, you don't see the undercover agent in that.
Not at all.
So, which would be weird. Going forward, do you want to just touch on when your show is, when your 2 shows are for those that are just tuning in right now?
Yeah, April 26th, which is a Friday, and Saturday, April 27th, we'll be playing at All Stars Bar and Grill in Brampton, Ontario. And on the 27th, we'll be playing at the Velvet Underground, which is in Toronto. Tickets can be bought online at ticketscene.ca/artists/hometown-revenge.
If you just give me that link, I'll just tweet it out.
I will. I'll make sure I give it to you to tweet out. And I'll be on my Facebook page as well. If you want to check that out, it's facebook.com/hometown-revenge music.
Sweet. Now, you also want to play live tonight?
Yes.
Which song do you want to play?
I'm going to play my new single coming out called All We Have. It's going to be recorded by mid-May, and it's going to be featuring a friend of mine named Andrew Meir.
Sweet.
He actually wrote it, which is interesting, and it's also the title of my new EP coming out.
We're going to talk on those things. We're going to touch on them when we come back. We're going to take a quick musical break here on Radio Nation because we got to get you to set up. Obviously, I'm not going to be like, "Okay, go play."
Yeah.
There's nothing for you to play. So I'm going to be playing some stuff by Spencer Kane. So you're listening to Radio Nation. Follow on Twitter at Radio_Nation. After the interview, I'll be taking your requests. So I'll be on until about 10:30 tonight. So now we got Hometown Revenge performing. Which song is it?
All We Have.
All We Have. This is brand new. Brand new indeed. So kick it off. Feel free to go whenever you're ready.
Yep, sounds good. Hey girl, why'd you walk my way? Turning love into summer's play. Gotta be that we'll match the same. And I wanna know how all these things change. Gotta learn this game before you run out the door and play. Gotta learn to say that all we have is love. So celebrate it every day with everyone that you know better days. And all we have is time. So follow me, bright eyes. I'm learning to say I'll take this day by day. Last week, oh, it's when it changed. I felt warmer in every way. You gotta know that you're not the same, 'cause people can change and we're on the right pace. Feeling something so strong it sickens me. I'm hoping walls don't come down just to break on me. I guess we'll see that all we have is love. So celebrate it every day with everyone that you know better days. And all we have is time. So follow me, bright eyes. I'm learning to say I'll take this day by day. Take your words, you know I'm alone. Your eyes, they held the truth. But when I see you, your eyes are so beautiful and just so drawn to you. I'm drawn to you. And all we have is love. So celebrate it every day with everyone that you know better days. All we have is time. So follow me, bright eyes. I'm learning to say I'll take this day by day.
Nicely done indeed.
Thank you.
Very nicely done. So talk about this song, and I understand it was written originally by somebody else, and you happen to really like it. So talk about what made you decide to what you really like about this song.
All right. Well, I'll quickly tell you the story of how the song came to be. Good friend of mine, Andrew Meir, fantastic musician. Check him out at twitter.com/Drew Meir. He's fantastic, and this was one of his songs. Well, a song that he was working on about a year ago, and he sent it to me, and I was just in love with it. It was the lyrics and just everything about it. It was catchy. It had the elements of something that I would love to play. And we'd always do jam sessions at his house where we would just sit there and play this song, and he'd always want to sing with me. And he recently began to kind of change his sound, and it didn't really fit into what he wanted to do. So he was going to scrap it and actually just get rid of it forever. And he brought up this idea. He said, well, how about I gave it to you, and you could have it? And it's something that I don't usually do because as a solo musician, somebody who's very proud of his own work, I didn't want to take his work. But it was just, there was something about this song and the lyrics, all we have is love, so celebrate it every day. Just, to me, it was a quote to live by. And when I heard the song, I just couldn't live with myself if I passed up that opportunity to take this song. And so me and him are going to the studio at the end of this month to throw it down, and we're gonna throw it on my EP called All We Have, which is coming out this summer. And yeah, that's how the song came to be. And the thing I love the most about it, like I said, is just the lyrics. And I feel like just especially that one line, all we have is love, so celebrate it every day with everyone that you know, better days. It's a quote to live by. And it's something that, in the end, when everything's gone, all we have is love for each other. And by loving each other, we can kind of make this world a little bit of a better place. So that's why I love it.
We also talked a little bit off air. You're also in the works of coming out with an EP as well. Do you want to talk really quickly about that and sort of when you plan on having it out?
Yeah. Well, right now the first single that came off it was The Story of Tobias and Lily, and next is going to be All We Have, and then there's 2 other tracks that are going to be on it. I'm not 100% sure yet, so I don't want to release any names of songs, but it's going to be a 4-song EP. And like I said, the biggest thing I was waiting for was quality, and I've been to about 3 other producers who I've worked with, and I've not been happy 100% with what I've had. And so I've had all these EPs lined up to release, but I never did because they just were not up to the standard of what I wanted. And when I found Chris and what he did for me was so fantastic, I just knew that this was the guy who I wanted to do it with. And so we're going to get together over the next couple months to throw down the rest of the songs, and it should be released sometime in June or July.
Looking forward to it for sure.
Thank you.
Now, anything else you want to add before we do let you go tonight?
I just want to, if you don't mind, give a shout out to my mom who's listening.
That's cool.
My aunt Lynn, my cousin Jenny, my cousin Sarah, all you guys. I love you all for all your support. Thank you. Without you guys, I don't know where I'd be. You guys have been there for me through it all, and I just want to say thank you guys. I want to say thank you to everybody who's listening. Give a big shout out to all you guys and my girlfriend Sabrina. Without her, I don't know how I'd be able to do anything that I do, seeing how she is my backbone. Big shout out to Kieran Lane from Illinois, who has followed my music since a long time and has done a lot to help promote and support. So just a big shout out to all those people.
One last question, and just because you mentioned her name, it reminded me. She asked a question earlier that I actually wanted to get to, and I didn't get to ask it, which was, do you wish you'd started music? She asked if you wish you'd started music singing earlier, began your career earlier. Do you wish that at all?
Oh, of course. I think my biggest downfall is the fact that I started so late, and taught myself. And I shouldn't say downfall. 'Cause to me, it's a strength. I taught myself to play guitar upside down, which is a feat in itself. Which a lot of people when I'm playing shows kind of look at me like. But I do wish I started earlier because it's just one of those things that, the earlier you start, the better you are, and you just kind of have more connections. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm happy when I started. I feel like I started at an age where I can appreciate music. I feel like if I was forced to play piano from the time I was 4, or, guitar, I would hate it. Mm-hmm. And because I learned on my own, I taught myself, it's all just self-driven, I've come to respect it a lot more. And I just have a love for music and for what I do. And so as much as I do wish I started earlier for the sake that I'd probably be way better than I am now, I am extremely satisfied with where I am and with what I've accomplished and with all that I've come to have. So, yes.
Last question is, how do people get a hold of you on the various social media networks that there are?
Ooh, so many. All right, if you want to listen to my music, check me out on soundcloud.com/hometown-revenge. If you want to follow me on Twitter, @hometownrevenge. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/hometownrevengemusic.
Well, thanks a lot for coming in, Justin.
Thank you, Nick.
I know it was a miserable commute in rain-wise. I know it was. It's a pretty awful day out there. But if you're from the West Coast, it's a pretty normal day. But it's an awful day for us Easterners. So thanks a lot for coming in, taking the time out. You're welcome back, and keep me up to date with the EP because I'm really looking forward to hearing it.
We'll do, and I hope to see you out at the Coffee Capers tour in May.
Yeah, well, I get home on May 4th, so I got a CD release party to go to on the 4th. But if it's the 5th and it's in the GTA, I will do my very, very best, and I'd really like to come see you perform live.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Hopefully there's many more shows to come as well.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, we're going to be taking a quick break here on Radio Nation, playing some more music. So we're going to kick it off with the Boyle Brothers and Why Are We Wasting Time? You're listening to Radio Nation. You can follow along on Twitter at @radio_nation.